But the truth is, when Bo played for Oakland, it was
great.
It was great, but they didn't give him a lot to do. They had very simple play designs because he wasn't always there. He was playing two sports. Did you just mom seatbelt me?
Sunday drive!
No! All right, so from our hashtag family to yours, we just want to wish everybody, before we get into this week's episode, we want to wish everybody Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day to those fathers out there. This guy's one.
This guy's another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's, we filmed on, Cinco de Mayo. We didn't do a Cinco de Mayo celebration. We didn't do a Mother's Day celebration. We didn't do any of that stuff. So for all those guys that are getting $11 Target cargo pants, after you got your wife
$3,000 diamond ring for Mother's Day.
So yes, like from hashtag to all the fathers out there, TMI, let them fly. So
the universe started exploding when the terms Josh Allen and first team reps showed up. So we talked about this, right? We talked about how do you get Josh Allen to be the starter? We talked about this in previous episodes.
See how he works with the ones. It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. So the old adage of you sit him until he earns first team reps, that's not today's NFL anymore, right? It's about opportunity. So you give a guy an opportunity and see what he does with it. That's it. That's all you got to do. You give him an opportunity to see what happens. So Josh Allen taking snaps at the ones is not a surprise. I would be surprised if he wasn't getting snaps with the ones. I expect him to get some snaps. He's going to have to. This is a new playbook. There's a lot of concepts that will be very new to him, right?
Yep.
They need to see, can he execute? That's it. And we're not talking about the most complex play designs right now.
No.
We're not. We're talking simple.
Get the verbiage down.
Exactly. So these should all be things that he can execute. Now the question is, it's not necessarily him getting the first team reps, but how long are the first team reps going to last? That's going to tell you about his progression, because everything he's doing right now, he should be able to accomplish. Like there should be, no Josh Allen look lost today.
So it doesn't concern you that the day after he got the first team reps, he was named third on the depth chart?
No, that doesn't bother me at all. That bothers you a little bit?
Not bother. Did I say bother? I meant concern.
Okay. You did say concern. If I changed it.
Yeah, does that concern you that, okay, we saw what he had, he's not at the level of the other two?
Yeah.
And they're doing basic stuff.
But that's what you get with a rookie quarterback coming out of college. I mean, it's just...
Did it happen with Luck? Did it happen with Wentz? Did it happen with Goff?
You're talking about different animals there. You're talking about the best quarterbacks in that draft.
Rookie quarterbacks taken in the top 10.
Yeah, but I mean, we've done this study before, looking at guys taken in the top 10. As soon as you get outside of the top 3 picks,
that's bad.
It doesn't matter whether they're the first quarterback off the board or not.
Nope.
It doesn't. And here we're looking at the third quarterback off the board, right? So it's a little bit of a different animal. I mean, to me, Allen you should be hearing positive things of him coming out of camp, right? You should also hear positive things of McCarron and Peterman, but the truth is, what they're doing should be old hat to those guys. Even Peterman, it should be old hat, right? There should be nothing new. For Allen, it's all new. For them, there shouldn't be anything new here. Even though Dable's system, and Lord knows, right? I don't know what this playbook looks like. Shady seems to love it. Shady was raving about Dable.
He came from Alabama. Why wouldn't Shady love it?
Yeah, exactly. A running back who's 1,000 yards shy of 12,000.
Yeah.
Of course, he's gonna love Brian Dable. It just makes sense. But so, talk about progression then. Like, where do you think this goes? If Allen's truly going to be the starter week 1, I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just talk about the possibility. What would you need to see out of the progression that we see out of camp to think that Allen's going to be number 1 at some point? Not just blind faith. Like, what would have to happen in order for him to be 1?
An injury.
That's it.
I think that
To McCarron, not Peterman.
McCarron.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking that by the first week he'll be number 2, because I believe Peterman still has practice squad eligibility.
Yes, but you have to be cut. That's the whole thing about the practice squad. Is you can't just put a guy in the practice squad.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have to waive him to put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, and after that debacle last year, I doubt anyone's going to want to
Very
steal
true.
him.
Very true.
So, so you still have practice squad eligibility. You can do that with Peterman if you need to. So that's why you put Allen at 2. I just think his natural progression, he's going to do that. He went from one college playbook to another college playbook.
Okay.
So that's one thing. The other thing is Dable. He'd like to remain in the pros, I believe. Okay, you don't go to Alabama and not stay at Alabama. You know what I mean? Usually, if you're an OC at Alabama,
It puts you in line to be a head coach at a D1 school.
Yeah.
It doesn't often bring you back into the NFL.
yeah. So what Dable's going to do is he's going to try to play things close to the vest with himself. You got Shady. You have a run-first offense. You have very basic concepts that you're going to be doing. McCarron should shine early on anyway. And I think Allen has more leadership abilities than McCarron, potential-wise.
Okay.
So I don't think he starts out right. I really don't. I think an injury to McCarron would have to happen for Allen to start week 1.
So you think that if an injury to McCarron happens, Peterman's immediately dismissed from the starter conversation and immediately goes to Allen?
I think so. Because then you're like, depending on when the injury happens, too. You're just talking about just before week 1.
Yeah.
McCarron goes down in the 3rd preseason game. Let's say some freak accident happens. I think you default and go to Allen, because then Allen and the OC can now learn. You get a year for them to learn the NFL.
See, I
Together.
look at that situation maybe a little differently, because head coaches and GMs don't like to admit mistakes with quarterbacks. They don't like to, right? And Peterman being waived to the practice squad, I feel would be that.
It's been happening a lot lately. I know that's one of those things. I think maybe 25 out of 32 GMs have drafted their quarterbacks that they currently have,
Right.
that are starters. We just saw the Browns do it with Kaiser.
Yep.
We drafted him last year. We're like, nope, it's not working. Then again, that's a new front office.
Sure.
So
Sure.
It may not be
But,
100% Jackson.
Look at what happened there, and that's the fear of starting a rookie quarterback, is you get that.
Yeah, but there's
Because
no
I love
organization
Deshaun
there.
Kaiser coming out of college, but there was no way he should have been starting.
There's no
No
organization
Yeah.
there. It's awful. But I mean, a lot of those guys, it's either you admit your mistake or you keep losing games with the guy that you drafted, and you're not going to have a job for you.
Yeah.
So, like, hey, yeah, or coaches aren't immune to placing blame too. Yeah, we drafted this kid. We did our research. He ended up not panning out because of things he failed to do off the field. It wasn't us.
Right.
We coached him up. He just wasn't doing it.
So, here, I find this to be an interesting question. Since we're going to be in a run-first offense in Buffalo, like that's just what it is, right? The playbook is still evolving. We know that. A lot of people think that the playbook is this big dictionary they put on a desk and you can turn to it whenever you need it. And the playbooks evolve, right, over the course of the season. So if I were Dable right now, I would still be designing my playbook around what quarterbacks I think would be able to execute those plays, right? And if I'm writing the playbook right now, McCarron is my starter. And that's not because I'm an A.J. McCarron fan. The reason that I say that is because from a terminology standpoint, there's no way that Allen should be close to McCarron. There's just no way. So with as simple as the playbook is right now, Allen should be able to execute, but McCarron should be able to adapt as that playbook evolves. I think that's where a lot of rookie QBs get lost, is they can study hard right away, right, and get it. But as that playbook evolves through the season, they get lost in the sauce, right? Because they may go out there and practice play 4 times, and then, okay, now that's in the playbook, and they've only run it 4 times, and they've done it with mixed personnel, right? So I think a lot of times that's what happens. McCarron should be able to overcome that easier than Allen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, because he'll have the things that, not just the playbook that Allen has to learn, but getting acclimated to the NFL that McCarron already knows. He'll have all those things in his back pocket. You know, it's like me as a teacher. Because I've had so many years, a new teacher that comes in, things that I already know to do, they're learning the first year, and they're kind of wide-eyed with it.
Right.
You know, it's funny, we started this talking about historic, the history of the game is something that you don't pay attention to, but I don't expect Dable to be this great innovator. However, what Walsh used to do, because he had Montana and Young, and you got a right-handed and a left-handed quarterback. He used to, when he was drawing plays up, he used to design plays that would still fit both of them. Just that, okay, if Joe's in, we're going right. If Steve's in, we're going left. We're going to have this play. This is the read if Joe's in. This is the read if Steve's in. You know what I mean? Like, he was able to design plays like that and was able to be successful. The other example I want to give you is Don Shula. Now, I know I'm talking about 2 Hall of Fame coaches, but I'm just giving you examples of guys. When Marino was a rookie, bless you.
I think my soul came out of me on that one.
Yeah, probably.
Talking about Don Shula in this car.
I am just telling you that what he did when Marino was a rookie, he said, Marino, he said, in practice, you call your own plays.
That would never happen in today's NFL.
But the thing was, though, it forced him to learn the playbook faster than anybody, because then he would start calling plays in practice all the time. So what I'm saying is that, number one, as far as the Walsh example I was talking about, he's going to have different plays. If he wants to be successful, he already has to have different plays set up for both of them. Different types of offenses. Both run first, but you have a different skill set for both of those guys. You can't just have the same plays for both of them and be like, okay, this is what we're running.
Right.
Also, you need to put more on Allen's plate than you do on McCarron if you want him to develop more. That's why I brought those 2 examples up. That's the only reason.
See ya, dink!